Hello, friends. So we meet again. Today, I welcome Dr. Anita Bajaj, who will be introducing you all to a lesser-known remedy, which is a grass remedy for the present times, Triticum Vulgaris. So, Anita, please share your case.
Yeah. Hello, friends. Recently, only Teachers' Day has gone. So happy Teachers' Day to everyone. And we will start with the case. Kushala, share my PPT.
Yes.
Yes. So this is a case of a lady, young lady with endometriosis. Next slide. She was brought to me by her paternal aunt, Bua, and for her complaint of endometriosis. So she's a 32-year-old, beautiful, smiling, tall, average-built lady who comes from Gujarati family. She was in joint family with her parents before marriage, with grandmother, Bua, paternal aunt who's unmarried and used to financially support family. It was a close-knit family and they had freedom to do whatever they wanted. So from young age, she used to give tuitions and she used to earn. Her sister is also earning. Her aunt also used to earn. So that freedom was there in that family. Now, she came with a complaint of severe dysmenorrhea for 3 months. Earlier, she used to get pain, but it was not that severe and it was tolerable. But now she gets labor-like pains. She said, it is like, delivery pains and I can't tolerate. And she used to weep with pain. She couldn't do anything. So she used to be very restless and she couldn't do anything. She used to get backache. She used to have a lot of clots and she used to have constipation before her periods. So 2 months back, she went to a gynecologist who did sonography and found out that she had chocolate cyst with endometriosis. And she was given hormonal treatment to suppress the periods. So she found it very unnatural. She said, it is not good. No, if you suppress your periods, it is not good. So I wanted something which would not, interfere with my periods. So her aunt suggested to come for homeopathic treatment. She works as a teacher, but her in-laws' family is very orthodox. Patient's mother-in-law is very dominating, and she is against patient doing a job. So patient had to leave her job after marriage till her daughter was 2 years old. For 6 years, she was not working. And that time she used to get very depressed. She felt as if she did not have any existence, sitting at home, doing nothing. Work used to get over. And then what to do in the afternoons. So her mother-in-law used to, just watch TV or be on mobile. This patient did not like. She said, I can't spend whole day watching TV or just lazing around. So this was not her self, she was not liking that type of life. Her mother-in-law is just, watching TV on mobile or just lazing around. And she doesn't do any work on pretext of being sick. And her elder sister-in-law has 2 kids. One is 8 years old and one year old. So because of, she has to take care of 1-year-old child. So she is also not doing so much work. But, and she also, like in her free time, she will watch TV and all that, which patient does not like. Now, patient is very efficient. She does her work very fast and she does it with, properly, like dutifully, with responsibility. And the mother-in-law doesn't even trust her sister-in-law that in her patient's absence, sister-in-law will be able to manage or cope up with the work. So that is also the reason that mother-in-law did not want her to work. But patient assured her that she will finish all the work and then do her job, and her work, household work or family will not suffer because of her job. So she used to do all the morning chores, making breakfast, lunch, getting her daughter ready for school, drop her to school, and then go to work. And after coming back again, she would do all the work which was remaining, prepare dinner and do everything. So sister-in-law had no burden on her. Sister-in-law would do whatever she could do. And patient, in spite of working, she would not crib, thinking that if I say anything, my mother-in-law will have a reason again to tell me not to work. Because financially there is no need. Mother-in-law says, we are well off. What is the need for you to earn? But patient used to feel like when she was at home and not earning, she used to feel very restricted, because from young age she was earning money. So she always had that financial freedom to buy whatever she wanted. But in those 6 years, like she wouldn't ask money from her husband or mother-in-law. So she felt very restricted. So her paternal aunt and her sister used to help her financially that time. Husband would not say no, but patient only had reservations to ask money from him. So now, like for that was one of the reasons that she wanted to earn money. And now, whenever she gets a raise or a promotion, she will get gifts for everyone. For her mother-in-law also, she bought a nice bangle, but mother-in-law was not happy. She said, my sons can buy for me. Why should I take from you? So that is the way mother-in-law reacts. Patient said, mother-in-law will appreciate my sister-in-law if she bargains for, buying vegetables. She will say that she got this for so much of, so after bargaining so much. But she would not appreciate me for being a teacher. So bargaining for vegetables is more important for her than being a teacher and teaching so many children and doing some constructive work. So that is the feeling this patient has. Patient's husband was neutral. He was skeptical that she would be able to manage both. But then when she started managing everything on her own, he also started cooperating, and he also realized that she being teacher, their daughter was developing more. So every term, like whenever the term is coming to an end, mother-in-law always has this, that you should stop working now. You resign from the job. You sit at home. Take care of children, take care of the family and all that. And every time patient has to, goes through the stress of convincing her again, or, going against her. That feeling also used to create a lot of stress. Like during sister-in-law's delivery also, patient took leave for 15 days and then she resumed. But after resuming also, she would make sure that she would do everything and then go. She would not leave any work. Still, mother-in-law always pressurizes her to leave the job. So this time also her complaint started in February as the term was coming to end, and mother-in-law started her tantrums. Mother-in-law is also egoistic and she likes to show off. So whenever, patient would make something, she would make fun of her. Everybody can cook. Everybody can make such dishes by seeing YouTube. So did not give any credit to her. At the same time, like if guests are there and they have cooked everything, still mother-in-law would, act as if she has done everything. So that would offend her, but she would not say anything. And this she, said with a smile, as there was no bitterness on her face. Patient feels angry, thinks for some time, and then she forgets. Even if there is a fight with her husband, she would not escalate it, or she would not say anything, react back, thinking that it is my loss only. If there is a fight, my husband would not talk to me for 2-3 days, then I only have to go and start talking to him. Then what is the, need of fighting? Her brother-in-law is also dominating, but patient's husband doesn't say anything to him. Whenever there is some work to be done at home, everybody listens to her brother-in-law also. Brother-in-law only, but she also doesn't say anything. Like she says, I don't interfere with all those things. Why to spoil relationship? And she's fond of clothes, and for her school also she needs clothes. For PTMs and functions and all, they have to dress well. But then she doesn't have a lot of desires, or, she has to buy jewelry or anything. She's very simple that way. And she's content with whatever she has. About her pain also, she said Little bit pain is okay, I can tolerate it, but it should not be so severe that I can't bear it. So if we analyze this case, then this lady is from a family where everyone is active and earning. So productivity is important for her. She can't sit idle watching TV or mobile. So with this, we get the rubric occupation desire, order desire for her. Because, her life has been like that. So if she sits at home, she's not feeling that things are in order. She doesn't have money in her pocket. She doesn't have constructive work to do. So she's not very ambitious. She doesn't want to achieve anything in her life, but she wants to be occupied constructively. So for that, I have taken this rubric of occupation desire or order desire for. Then her thinking is, I will do all chores. Won't inconvenience anybody. Let me do my work. So it is like duty, too much sense of duty, objective, reasonable, and overactive. Why objective, reasonable? Because I am doing everything. So I am not putting anybody in inconvenience. I'm doing my bit of work. I'm doing everything. Then why should you have objection for me, for my work? And overactive because she is managing everything properly. She does everything in efficient way, not cribbing, not giving a chance to mother-in-law. So programming everything, feeling obliged to comply to wishes of others. Now, what is this? That they feel that they are obliged to do their duties or to comply with whatever others feel right. So she is doing all the work. From her side, whatever she feels obliged to do, she does everything. And then she goes for work. Then with that also, she's quite happy. So content himself with. She doesn't have major ambitions, or she is not dissatisfied with mother-in-law not telling elder sister-in-law to work or anything. So she is doing everything and she's content with that. So in return for my doing lot of work at home, I'm getting permission to work outside. That is the content with herself. Felt wasted, restricted, no money in hand when she was not working. So that was sensitive to disorder and delusion hindered. And delusion hindered also comes from her mother-in-law always trying to stop her from working. And then she has to fight, and then she has to go against her. She has to convince her. So delusion, she uses a lot of energy in doing that. And that is the reason she also suffers every term. So delusion hindered, he is then independent. She wants to be independent and she's from the family where everybody was independent. So she doesn't have any expectation from others to help her. She buys gifts for everyone with her earned money. So she's not keeping her money for herself alone. She's generous, love exalted. So she feels love. It comes from within. She doesn't buy gifts to please anyone or to flatter anyone. It comes from within. She does it with a lot of joy. Her desires are limited. Even for pain, she said bearable. If it becomes bearable also, it is okay. I don't want it to go completely. So she's content. Then mother-in-law appreciates sister-in-law for getting veggies cheap, but not me being teacher. So that is, where she is longing for good opinion of others and she feels delusion appreciated. She is not and respected desire to be. I'm doing a teacher's job and you are appreciating my sister-in-law who buys cheap vegetables and you're not appreciating me, who does everything at home and goes for work. She teaches children also. She's doing her work also sincerely. Still, there is no respect or no appreciation for her in the family. Patient feels her daughter is developing because of her being teacher. So what is teacher? Teacher shapes lives of students. So it is a constructive, creative work. So desire to beget and have children. Like I should produce my progeny where I teach them my, values and knowledge. I should give them that knowledge. So every teacher has this desire, And when she is not working, she has that fear of, last slide, please. when she was not working, she had that fear that baby will die in utero. So what is baby will die in utero? Uterus is the seat of creation and baby is the creativity. So my creative potential will die if it is not utilized. So this is the single remedy rubric of Triticum Vulgaris. Yes, next. Every end of the term, mother-in-law pressurizes her to leave the job and she has to fight back. So this is, elements from anticipations that my mother-in-law is again going to create problems. Pertinacity, because she still sticks on. She fights. What is pertinacity? Having tenacity. She will stick to her point and she will persist with it. And even if she has to fight for that, she will do that. She is going against her mother-in-law in this aspect. So she is defiant and she is in fight wants to also. Not reacting to mother-in-law, brother-in-law and husband emotionally is she controls her emotions. So emotions are predominated by intellect. Because there she uses her reason. There is no point in fighting unnecessarily why spoil relations. Why I only have to go and talk to them again. So it's better not to fight on. She was smiling throughout, so that it is, cheerful and jesting. She was laughing when she was describing her mother-in-law's behavior. So emotions are suppressed, which cause somatization at the level of uterus, causing endometriosis. So this we see as discontent, reserved displeasure. Displeasure is there, but it is not being expressed. So it is reserved within her. So we see the repertorization table, elements from domination, elements from emotional excitement. Like this is before any new term, there is a lot of excitement. Excitement is not always positive. It can be because of anxiety, anticipation. I will have to fight. I will have to again go through that thing. So this elements from emotional excitement, anxiety, future about whether she will allow me to work again, anxiety, journey before, asking nothing for. She is not asking for anything. You just let me do my teacher's job. That's all. I don't want anything else. And in return, I can do everything for you. So she is doing everything to satisfy her mother-in-law. Awareness heightened about thoughts and feelings. She is very much aware about what she wants, how to get it, and how not to offend others also. So that awareness is there. Children beget and to have desire to have children. Like I said, she wants to create children, mold them, give them proper shape, and all the moral values and everything. Clarity of mind. She's quite clear in her mind about what she wants, how to get it. Communicative. At no point I felt that she was hiding anything or she's freely communicating about each and everything. Comply to wishes of others, feeling obliged to. Company desire for children of. Now this is Triticum. As a remedy, all these rubrics are there. Content himself with, defiant, delusion appreciated. She is not, delusion endured. She is discontented, reserved displeasure, duty, too much sense of duty. Now here, how will we differentiate from responsibility increased? Responsibility is something which you feel from inside, proactive. Responsibility comes from the verb respond. So you respond proactively in any situation. If anything is to be done, they will be the people who will take initiative. They will volunteer themselves that I will do it, don't worry. But here it is more out of duty, because if I do my duty at home, I will be allowed to work out. So I have to complete all my work. I have to cook. I have to do everything here. And then I will be free to do my duty. Duty is always, related to the role. And it is time bound also. And it has some limits, like whatever is your role definition, according to that, duty is allotted. So if a teacher is teaching, her specific duty is given to them. But The teacher who is more responsible will go out of her way to see to it that all the children learn everything. So in responsibility, they feel accountable. They feel that all the work they are doing should be best, should be proper. Sorry. All these things she is doing with ease, you know. She is not cribbing or complaining. So there is ease feeling of. Emotions are predominated by intellect, physical exertion, desire. So in Triticum, you also have, and there is a rubric, overactive also. So physically also, they are quite overactive. Fear baby will die in utero. Fear lest the door should be closed. Why the door should be closed? If I displease anyone, they may, you know, shut the door on my face. They may, you know, remove me from their life. So she doesn't want to spoil any relations. Fear impotence of. If I sit at home, I'm not doing anything. That is like non-performing, you know, impotence. So with this, I come to end and I invite Dr. Kushala to talk about monocotyledons because Triticum vulgaris is one of the major monocotyledon remedy which is used quite often. So she will be talking about monocotyledon theme and also Poales order. Yes, Kushala.
Yes. Thank you, Anita. It's a nice presentation. So friends, these are the remedies of today's time when we find a lot of patients who are immigrating and who are getting into a lot of they're uprooted from their roots. So we see this is the monocotyledon chart, which is very undifferentiated, very row-wise, column-wise. They're not very differentiated in the sense there is no marked structure or bifurcation. They can range, their rows also are few, their columns are also few, and every family and order can show ranges of rows and columns. I mean, they can spread over from adolescent childhood to the adulthood. So when we say ki mono, what we mean by mono? So monocotyledons are those with a single cotyledon. So most of them are grass remedies. And they are evolutionary less advanced than the dicot. So they are not very mature. So the flowers are also simple, multiples of 3. They have leaves with parallel veins. Stems have xylem, which are scattered. They're very, very immature, very primitive, superficial root system. So the chart also, if you see, the rows and columns are not differentiated, they're scattered. They can intermingle, you know, any particular family can have a range from childhood to adulthood. But their personalities are very self. I mean, they're just, it's about me and my needs, and it's all about themselves. So they find a lot of difficulty in really addressing to the others or struggling with the relationship because they can't get beyond themselves. And their traits are very immature. So they come across as even naive and childlike. And they are all the time struggling with issues of oneness and separation. For them, reality is as if everything is stemming from him, around him, and happening because of him. So it's more of, you know, there's nothing beyond me, self-centered. Now, the most common or remedies of today are falling into Poales. Triticum falls into the Poales of the monocotyledon, which if we see in this chart, it, you know, if I'll just use the pointer. So if we see, it is in this 4th column. So the 4th column is the nurturing line. It's about the mother-child bond, nurturing nutrition line. And the Poales family Triticum comes in this comelenids. Okay. So what we see here, that this is the grass family. So they're the largest monocot order, and they are in abundance. We'll see abundance in the common edible cereals like wheat, rice, maize, oats, sugarcane, barley, millets. So they are to do with surplus. They're very common, and you'll find them in numbers. And they are wind pollinated. Like you'll see, their pollination is in vast. I mean, it's just blown by the wind. So see the amount of pollination that takes place. And since it's falling in the column 4, that is the nourishing line, you'll have a lot of problems with digestion issues, hormonal issues. And since they are premature also, you'll have an immature nervous system. The hormonal problems are more because, they're falling in the feminine column. So there is an imbalance of the giving, they're just giving. There's so much of, wasteful giving. So you'll see a lot of excessive sexuality because they just don't have the balance in the feminine element. So nurturing, nutrition, and stability comes in this Poales family. And it's all about many and proliferation. Now, orchids also fall in the same column, but orchids is comparatively like vanilla is a remedy from the orchid, which we use so often nowadays. So this also falls in column 4, but orchids is much more advanced than Poales. So they also, in the column wise also, they are advanced to the form of, they cover column 4 as well as 5 and 6. As well as rows also, they cover from the child, adolescent till the adult. So they are much more advanced than the Poales. And orchids is all about, vanilla, as we know. Their seeds are very immature. So they need the fungus. So they are very, very dependent on, they have a symbiotic relationship with the fungi, because of which there's high adaptability. They can grow in very harsh conditions. So in orchids, there's something about them that they want to be unique. It's all about beauty, creativity, and unique. I'm special. And theirs is insect pollination, a special type of a bee. It won't be anybody and everybody. They want specific, and they're selective about their pollinators. So you see issues with lot of sexuality and reproduction in orchidales as compared to Poales. So because of this, they are beautiful flowers and they are attractive. So you'll see a lot of attraction, wealth, beauty, sensuality, passion, seduction, grief, and refinement in the one hand. Everything is subtle and very beautiful. It's a beautiful flower. On the other hand, since they are falling into the advanced columns also of 4, 5, 6, and also rows up to the 7, 8, what we see is they have the capacity that all this materialism, they want to sublimate it so that they can elevate themselves to go beyond the earthly materialism to social achievements, also into spirituality. So this aspect about materialism, earthly to spiritual creativeness or spiritual energy is very much there in orchidales. And you'll see a lot of animal energy in them because of the insect pollination. So a journey from unity to individual awareness, that is a journey from darkness to light. They want to travel from their own simple ego to an ego awareness, where they're aware, where Poales are all about self, they're immature, while orchids are still developing their ego and ego awareness. They're wanting to now, come up and identify themselves as a separate individual. In Poales, what we see, since it falls in the nutrition line, they are very much to do with nurture, family. They want a lot of support from the family, or they want to support the family. It's about ancestral roots. You're grounded to your roots, or you're uprooted, or there's a lack of nurture and lack of roots, because of which there can be balance as well as unbalanced issues of the feet. We see a lot of immigrants nowadays. I mean, they have their family ties and they go abroad. Some of them, you'll find that their ties are so strong that they will live in under very difficult conditions, but they'll earn a lot so that they can support their family. And some of the immigrants will feel that, they would like to totally escape their responsibility because they have gone with their own needs. And so you'll find that they have uprooted themselves from their roots totally. They will change their name if they have got an Indian name to make it easy for the Western world. They might change their name, their identity, their lifestyle, their eating habits and everything. So they're totally uprooted. So you'll see a lot of foot problems, a lot of balance issues coming up in the Poales. And there's a lot of genetic. You'll see that there are problems which are genetically inclined from the mother to the daughter down the line. So on one side, there's a lot of need for support. And on the other side, you'll see a lot of issues of being abandoned or unreciprocated love, because of which you will see in children a lot of childishness, clinging, temper tantrums, and getting into addictions like in saccharum, which falls in Poales, sugar, or, such type of addictions. So because there's a sense of want, there's something lacking. So this impairment in nutrition leads to a lot of digestive issues, metabolic issues, and poor assimilation and temperature regulations. Well, orchid, you will see, since it ranges in the rows, you see on one level, there's a lot of immaturity. There's a conflict of the mother-child separation because they're so dependent. They want the mother, the grandmother, they want so much. So you'll see ailments, death of loved ones, anxiety for loved ones, because they're so much symbiotic, they want that dependence. But at the same time, they have a very strong need for their own individuality, to be somebody very exceptional, to be somebody very unique, to be creative, to have a social standing, and to uplift himself to spirituality. So here again, a lot of foot, ankles issues are coming because of this uprootedness. They need to belong to the family. At the same time, they want to detach and form their own identity for their own loftier dreams, because it's very important for them, the family, at the same time to be creative, to be uplifted, to be, I need to dress differently from others. I need to talk differently from others. I need to present differently from others. So that uniqueness is very important aspect. So in this, you will see that earthliness versus spirituality. You want all the materialistic things. You want, to go into luxury things. You want beautiful objects. You want a lot of finery. You want to look elegant. You want to dress elegant. At the same time, you want to be pure and you want to be spiritual. So they desire beautiful possessions and material pleasure. But at some point, they want to, since, the lower aspect, since they're so creative and they have a lot of sexual energy in them as they fall into the lower rows also of 7 and 8 into adulthood. But then they sublimate it into a lot of spiritual expression or creative expressions. So you'll find orchidales, it's a spiritual plant. It covers up a lot of chakras, which has to do with the spiritual chakras, eyes and visions, because vision talks about rootedness as well as vision talks about creativity. In Poales, on one side, since they are so primal, so immature, so indifferentiated, their sexuality is also, the feminine element is so surplus. The sexuality is so unbalanced. It's like excessive. It's just excessive giving. So you'll find there is too much of excessive sexuality and also lot of hormonal issue. While orchidales, they will have a subtle sexuality. Since they are still in monopods, they are not still able to relate to their partner. So that intimacy, though they are very subtle in it, it still leads into, they can't form an intimate bond. So it's about a lot of excessive sexuality, but in a subtle way, which is aesthetically, like they'll give a very pleasurable appearance. In Poales, we'll see a premature separation from the mother of the Poales family, which causes a lot of immature nervous system. So you will see a lot of burning, tingling, stabbing sensations And since it's in the feminine energy, a lot of water imbalance. So you'll see problems of the mucous membrane, kidney, heart, allergies. And poales are grasses. So all these wheat, rice, they're grown in farms. And you know about these that, even if there's a strong wind blowing, they can bend easily without breaking. So they are known to be stable, strong, they are steadfast, they are rooted, they're self-supporting, grounded and stiff. On the other side, they can be, wobbly, they can be knocked over. So the entire theme of poales is to do with supporting or being supported. While the entire thing about orchidales is about, cleansing, purification. There is a lower aspect of you, which is dirtiness, and you want cleanliness and order. Since they grow in the fungi in rotting, decaying matter, there are issues of purity and decay, death, and time. So it's used a lot for cancer, radioactive treatment. So now when we come to the remedy of triticum, which Dr. Anita spoke of, Triticum vulgaris, and if we compare it with the remedy of orchid, that is the vanilla. Triticum is the issues are about, again, family, nurture, mother-child bond, maturity, balance, parenthood. It's all about family, nurturing. And vanilla is also extremely family oriented, but there's an aspect of her wanting to be unique. So anything to do with death, separation of a loved ones, it really breaks vanilla down. Triticum is to do with connection to the roots on one side, that they are very strongly connected to their roots. They want their family very much. On the other side, they get uprooted from their land. So on one side, they desire to please to the family. They'll comply to the family. They'll do a lot for the family. On the other side, they feel hindered. That this is not what, what I want in life. I want to disconnect. So they'll estrange themselves. They'll cut from their roots. But for them to cut, because down the line, it's about the roots. So down the line, they have a very strong emotional connection with the roots. So to disconnect, what they'll do is they'll suppress their emotional side and they will use their reasoning side, because of which with their reasoning, they'll be able to program everything, and they're active and they'll desire for order. So it's a need for family versus the ability to balance your need or your ambitions without the family and roots. Well, on one side, vanilla, you will see, has a constant need for the presence of mother. They want the mother, grandmother, the entire family. But vis-a-vis, again, there is a need to be unique. So they are the busy bees. Since a bee, is their main pollinator, a specific bee, you'll see a lot of issues or apis-like symptoms of, restlessness, hurry, doing many things. So, and it's very important for her that I need to accomplish something. I need to be productive. And for that, I need order. And anything which takes away this, that, I can't be creative for myself, or I cannot, that creates a lot of anger in her, because she feels that the family is a reason for her to, take her away from her inner fire, and she's stuck at home. At the same time, she wants a family and she'll do everything. She'll cook for the family. So these are two conflicts that they are constantly running in. Triticum has a lot of digestive issues, metabolism, allergies, eye infections, while vanilla, the entire theme is about looking beautiful, elegant, perfect, refined, spiritual materialism. So it's a strong Venus-like, feminine, nurturing aspect of the column, where there's a problem in integrating your need for nourishment, family, motherhood. That is, you have a strong family need and your need for your own uniqueness outside. You want to be looking unique and exceptional to the outside world. So this was my presentation about the monocots, the poales, orchidales, triticum, and vanilla. Anita, would you like to share?
Yeah. See, basically, to cut the story short, triticum is to do with basic needs. It is wheat, roti kapda makan. Vanilla is a flower, is a beautiful flower. So it has more to do with aesthetics and appearance, vanity. So this is the basic difference. Why we wanted to differentiate triticum from vanilla is because lot of rubrics are common in triticum and vanilla, and in the plant chart also they come very close. So this was the attempt to differentiate vanilla and triticum from each other. And also, if you see, there are a lot of rubrics, and a lot of people can come to carcinosin in this case because she is doing everything for everyone. But if you see, this patient is sticking to her own point. She wants to work. So that is her basic desire, where she wants to, where she, sticks. So she is not in pleasing desire. So Triticum understands the situation, but wherever they want to do something which is important for them, like being a monocot, we see that she is performing so much and still she can be monocot because she is, fixated to the idea that I have to work. I have to be constructively occupied. So that is her fixation and that is the focus. And in return for that, she will do everything. So externally, if we see, she is doing everything for the family. But if we see deeper, then she is doing because she wants to work. So that, analysis has to be there if you want to differentiate from carcinosin or vanilla. Or even any other remedy which is coming close, then we have to also see, that it is not there in pleasing desire. So triticum is more earthy, vanilla is more fire. And triticum, one more thing which I wanted to add is, like Kushala also talked about the migration. So people who are going from India abroad, they develop a lot of wheat intolerance or gluten intolerance. So because, they are being uprooted, like Kushala explained. But for such cases also, triticum is very useful, but you can't, make it as a specific remedy for that. You also get a lot of allergies in triticum. So in such cases, you should always think of Triticum vulgaris. Like carcinosin, it is also close to nature. It loves nature. So there are many similarities in these remedies. But if you go deeper and analyze at a deeper level, then the differentiation will become clear. We also have a video on vanilla in details. So you can watch that video also. It's a beautifully made video with a lot of details. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. Do subscribe to our channel, write your comments in the comment box in YouTube, and we will be sharing with you again and again. Thank you so much.